The city of Rosewood was always peaceful, small streets, warm cafes, and the sound of laughter every evening. But behind that calm, two hearts were about to face a storm they never saw coming. It all began with Daniel Carter, a quiet man in his late 50s. He lived alone, worked as a librarian, and spent his evenings cleaning old books that no one borrowed anymore. He had no family left, or so everyone thought. One rainy morning, while cleaning his old jacket, Daniel found something strange in the pocket, a worn-out train ticket stub dated April 6, 1995. The ink was faded, but one word stood out clearly: Evelyn. For a few seconds, Daniel froze. His heart pounded. He hadn't heard that name in 30 years. Evelyn Brooks, the girl he once loved, the girl who vanished without a trace the day he was supposed to meet her. The forgotten past. Daniel sat by the window, staring at the ticket stub. Memories flooded his mind: the train station, her smile, and that last promise. No matter what happens, meet me at platform 3. But she never came. That day changed everything. Rumors spread that she had left town. Some said her family moved abroad. Others whispered something darker, that she was taken away. Daniel never found the truth. Now, after 3 long decades, this small piece of paper had returned like a ghost from the past. He felt torn. Should he open this door again? Or leave the past buried where it belonged? As thunder rolled outside, Daniel made a decision. He would find out what really happened to Evelyn. The start of an unexpected war. The next morning, Daniel went to the old Rosewood railway station. Most of it was closed now, covered in dust and silence. He showed the ticket stub to the station guard, an old man who had worked there since the 80s. When the guard saw the name Evelyn Brooks, his eyes widened slightly. He hesitated before saying, "That name, it brings back bad memories, sir. You don't want to dig into that?" Daniel pressed, "Why? What happened that day?" The guard sighed deeply. "That wasn't just a disappearance. That day, there was a fight, a war between families. Evelyn's father and your family's company. People got hurt. Some lost everything. And then she disappeared." Daniel's mind spun. He had never known about any family feud. His parents had told him Evelyn simply moved away. Could his family have been involved in her disappearance? The thought hit him like a blow. The letter in the locker. Determined to know more, Daniel searched the old storage room near the platforms. The smell of rust and rain filled the air. Behind a row of broken lockers, he found one still locked, number 47. The same number Evelyn once used when she worked at the station cafe. Using a small crowbar, he pried it open. Inside, he found a small sealed envelope, untouched by time. The handwriting was unmistakable: Evelyn Brooks. His hands trembled as he opened it. Inside, there was a letter dated the same day she vanished, April 6, 1995. It read, "Daniel, if you are reading this, something terrible has happened. They won't let us be together. My father found out everything. He said your family ruined his life. I don't know who to trust anymore. Please, don't come to the station tonight. It's not safe. I'll find a way back to you. Always. Evelyn." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. 30 years of silence shattered in that moment. But one line at the bottom made his blood run cold. "If I don't return, look for the red box beneath the clock tower. It holds the truth." The war begins. Outside, rain poured harder. Daniel stepped out of the station, clutching the letter tightly. He looked toward the old clock tower, still standing tall in the heart of the city. That was his next destination. But someone was already watching him, a man in a dark coat, standing near a parked car. He spoke quietly into his phone. "He's found the letter. Just like we feared." The other voice on the call replied. "Then we must stop him before he finds the box." Daniel had unknowingly stepped into something much bigger, an old war that never truly ended. As lightning flashed across the sky, he walked toward the clock tower, unaware that the answers he sought could destroy everything he ever believed. The rain had slowed to a drizzle, but the streets of Rosewood still glistened under the dim streetlights. Daniel's heart raced as he approached the old clock tower. Every step echoed in the empty streets, making him feel both small and exposed. He clutched Evelyn's letter tightly in his hand. That single line, "Look for the red box beneath the clock tower," was all he had. 30 years of questions, heartbreak, and fear now rested on a single clue. The clock tower. The clock tower was taller than he remembered, its bricks worn and moss-covered. Daniel circled the base, searching for anything unusual. He noticed a small iron door at the back, half hidden behind a bush. It was locked with a rusted padlock. Daniel's mind raced. Evelyn must have left something inside before she disappeared. He tried the lock, it wouldn't budge. Then he remembered something from the letter, "If I don't return." He kicked the door lightly. Nothing. But when he tried again, he heard a faint click. The padlock fell to the ground as if someone had been expecting him. The red box. Inside the tower, the floor creaked under his feet. Dust floated in the air like tiny ghosts. In the corner, under an old wooden beam, he saw it, a small red box, exactly as Evelyn had described. Daniel knelt down, his hands shaking. The box was locked with a tiny keyhole. No key in sight. Panic mixed with hope. Could this be the moment that answers 30 years of mystery? Before he could think further, he heard a faint sound, a whisper of movement behind him. He spun around. A shadow slipped past the broken glass window. Someone was watching him. The hidden journal. Ignoring the shadow for a moment, Daniel focused on the red box. It was heavier than it looked. He carried it to a small table near the staircase. Carefully, he pried it open with his pocket knife. Inside, there was a stack of papers, a small photograph, and a folded journal. Daniel opened the photo first. His eyes widened. It was Evelyn smiling, but with fear in her eyes. Behind her, a man Daniel didn't recognize was holding a letter with his family's emblem on it. The journal began with her handwriting. "If you're reading this, Daniel, it means I never returned. They forced me away, your family's rivals. I was trapped in their control for years. But I never forgot you. Every day, I hoped you would find me. The rival family." Daniel's hands trembled as he read further. Evelyn had been forced into hiding by a family feud Daniel never knew existed. Her father's family and his own had fought over a business deal gone wrong, a war of money, power, and revenge. But what shocked Daniel most was this entry. "They think I am lost forever. But one day, I will return. Until then, the red box holds everything: proof, letters, and memories. If anyone tries to stop you, trust no one. They are watching." Daniel's stomach turned. They are watching. That shadow outside the tower was no coincidence. Someone had been tracking him, waiting for him to find this box. The threat becomes real. Suddenly, the sound of a car door slamming echoed nearby. Daniel's heart leapt into his throat. The shadow outside had moved now closer, circling the tower. He hid the red box under his coat and rushed out the back. His mind raced with questions. Who were they? Why were they so determined to keep Evelyn's secret hidden? As he ran down the empty street, a low voice called out from the shadows. "Stop right there, Daniel. Give us the box, and no one gets hurt." Daniel froze. The voice was unfamiliar but firm, a warning, not a request. He had a choice. Hand over the box and forget everything, or fight to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The chase begins. Without thinking, Daniel ducked into an alley, clutching the red box. Rain-slicked cobblestones made every step dangerous. Behind him, Footsteps followed fast, precise, relentless. Daniel's mind raced. Evelyn's letters, the photo, the journal, all proof of a hidden war, a love stolen by power. He realized this was bigger than both of them. He was now part of a fight he never wanted but could not escape. Somewhere in the city, the red box held secrets powerful enough to destroy lives. And now, Daniel held it in his hands. As he ran through the foggy streets of Rosewood, he knew one thing for certain: the next step would lead him closer to Evelyn but also deeper into danger. The war had begun, and there was no turning back. The streets of Rosewood were quiet again, but Daniel felt no peace. His chest heaved from running, his hands still clutching the red box. Somewhere in the fog, he could hear footsteps, faint, but following. Someone knew he had the box. Someone who had been waiting for decades to keep its secrets buried. Daniel ducked into a narrow alley, hiding behind stacks of wooden crates. Rain dripped from the eaves, soaking his jacket. The city seemed empty, but he knew it wasn't. He could feel the eyes on him, shadowing his every move. The hidden ally. Suddenly, a soft voice whispered from the shadows. "Daniel? It's me, Marla. You can trust me." Daniel jumped, startled. A young woman stepped out, holding a small flashlight. Her eyes were sharp, yet filled with worry. "Marla," he asked. "How do you know me?" "I knew Evelyn," she replied. "And I've been waiting for someone brave enough to find the red box. The people chasing you, they will stop at nothing. But if we work together, we might finally uncover the truth." Daniel hesitated. After 30 years, after all the lies, could he trust someone new? But looking into Marla's eyes, he felt a spark of hope. "Then let's go," Daniel said. A journey into secrets. Marla led Daniel through a series of hidden alleys and old warehouses. Each step was calculated, careful, as if the city itself was alive and watching. Evelyn's family feud didn't end, Marla explained. Some of her father's old enemies survived. They're still powerful. They don't want anyone to know what really happened. Daniel nodded. Each word made the weight of 30 years hit harder. Evelyn's disappearance was no random act, it was part of a plan, a scheme that had stretched across decades. Finally, they reached an abandoned warehouse at the edge of town. Inside, dust and broken machinery surrounded them. But the warehouse held something unusual, an old map pinned to the wall, showing Rosewood with a series of red dots, locations connected to Evelyn's past. "These," Marla said, pointing, "are places where she hid messages, letters, and small items for you to find. She knew one day you'd come looking." Daniel's hands trembled. Evelyn had planned this, even from afar. Even in hiding, she had reached out to him. The first warning. As Daniel studied the map, a loud crash echoed from the far side of the warehouse. Shadows moved along the broken walls. "They've found us," Marla whispered. Before Daniel could react, a group of men in dark coats emerged from the shadows, surrounding them. Their faces were cold, their eyes unreadable. "Give us the box," one of them demanded. "And this ends peacefully. Refuse, and you will regret it." Daniel held the red box tightly against his chest. His mind raced. He had to protect Evelyn's secrets, the truth she had hidden for 30 years. "You'll have to take it from me," Daniel said, his voice steady, though his heart pounded. One of the men stepped forward, raising a hand. But before he could grab the box, Marla activated a small smoke device. Thick gray smoke filled the room, forcing the men to retreat temporarily. "Run!" Marla shouted. They ran through a hidden side door, narrowly escaping the men. But Daniel knew this was just the beginning. Whoever was chasing him would not give up easily. A glimpse of Evelyn. As they escaped into the rainy streets, Marla handed Daniel a small photograph. It was Evelyn standing by a lighthouse far from Rosewood, looking older, but unmistakably her. "She's alive," Marla whispered. "But she's in danger. And she's been waiting for you to find the red box. That's why they want it so badly." Daniel stared at the photo. After 30 years of questions, fear, and loss, the truth was finally within reach. But so was danger, closer than ever. "We have to find her," Daniel said. "Before it's too late." Marla nodded, her face set with determination. "And we will," she said. "But first, we need to understand the shadows of the past, every secret, every betrayal. Only then can we find her safely." The stakes grow higher. As the rain fell harder, Daniel and Marla vanished into the misty streets. Behind them, the men in dark coats regrouped, communicating via phone. "He has the box," one whispered. "Do not let him reach her. If the truth comes out, everything our families built will crumble." Daniel didn't know it yet, but the war Evelyn had been caught in for decades was about to resurface. And the secrets of the red box could change everything: their families, their city, and the love lost 30 years ago. Every corner of Rosewood now held danger, betrayal, and hidden truths. Daniel and Marla's journey was far from over. The night was dark and heavy with fog as Daniel and Marla drove along the winding road leading out of Rosewood. The city lights disappeared behind them, swallowed by mist and rain. The photograph of Evelyn, held in Daniel's hand, glimmered faintly under the car's dim light. "The lighthouse," Marla said quietly. "She's there. I know it. It's the only place she could hide where no one would think to look." Daniel nodded, a mixture of hope and fear tightening his chest. After 30 years, after decades of unanswered questions, he was finally close. But the danger surrounding Evelyn had only grown. Whoever had chased him before would stop at nothing now. Approaching the lighthouse. The lighthouse stood on a cliff overlooking the restless ocean. Its white paint had faded, and cracks ran along the walls. Waves crashed against the rocks below, sending sprays of water into the air. As they approached, Daniel noticed footprints leading up the path. They were recent. Someone was already here. "We're not alone," he whispered. Marla nodded and held up a small flashlight. They moved slowly, every step cautious, aware that discovery could be fatal. The reunion and the trap. At the base of the lighthouse, Daniel saw her, Evelyn. She was older than the girl he remembered, but her eyes, bright and piercing, were unmistakable. She looked surprised and relieved to see him. "Daniel," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I didn't know if you'd come." He ran to her, holding the red box tightly. She embraced him, and for a moment, 30 years of pain and longing melted away. But the moment was fleeting. From the shadows, a figure emerged, the same dark-coated man who had chased Daniel through the warehouse. Behind him, two more stepped out, surrounding them. "So, you finally found her," the man said coldly. "The red box doesn't belong to you. Hand it over, and this ends peacefully. Refuse, and, well, we've waited 30 years for this moment." Daniel's heart pounded. He knew the box held secrets that could ruin families, expose betrayals, and finally reveal the truth of Evelyn's disappearance. He could not give it up. The fight for the red box. Daniel shoved the red box into Evelyn's hands. "Run," he shouted. She hesitated but followed Marla toward a hidden side staircase. Daniel turned to face the men. His mind raced. How could three people stop him when the red box held decades of secrets? A struggle began. Daniel fought with desperation, knowing every second counted. One of the men lunged at him, but he dodged, sending the man crashing against the lighthouse wall. Marla grabbed a loose chain from the staircase railing and swung it, forcing the second attacker to stumble. Finally, realizing the fight would alert more pursuers, Daniel made a choice. He sprinted to the top of the lighthouse, drawing the last man's attention. The truth revealed. At the top, Daniel opened the red box again. Inside were not just letters and journals, but photographs, contracts, and ledgers proving a long-hidden conspiracy. Evelyn's father had been betrayed by Daniel's family decades ago, creating the feud that tore her life apart. The man at the top saw the documents. His face paled. "You don't understand," he said, but Daniel interrupted. "I understand more than you think. The truth ends tonight." From the lighthouse window, Evelyn and Marla watched as Daniel stood tall, holding the proof of the past. The storm outside mirrored the chaos of the family's hidden wars. The escape. Daniel tossed the documents down to Marla and Evelyn. They caught them and ran down the stairs while he stayed to delay the final attacker. The man lunged, but Daniel used the lighthouse's old rope pulley, swinging it to knock the attacker off balance. As Evelyn and Marla reached the safety of the cliff edge, they saw Daniel emerge a moment later, soaked and bruised but alive. The three of them embraced, hearts pounding, knowing the chase wasn't over, but victory at least for now was theirs. A new plan. "We can't stop now," Daniel said, catching his breath. "The world needs to know the truth. This red box, it's more than memories. It's justice." Evelyn nodded. "For 30 years, I hid because I feared them. But now, together, we can finish what they started." Marla looked at them both, determination in her eyes. "Then we prepare. The final move will decide everything: our lives, our love, and the past they tried to bury." The lighthouse loomed behind them, silent now, but holding decades of secrets within its walls. Daniel, Evelyn, and Marla knew the last chapter was coming, a confrontation that would reveal the full truth of the past, and the fate of everyone involved. The night was heavy with tension as Daniel, Evelyn, and Marla prepared for the final confrontation. The documents from the red box had revealed decades of betrayal, secret deals, and the hidden war between their families. The time had come to confront the people who had caused so much pain. "Tonight," Daniel said, voice steady, "we end this. No more running. No more hiding. The truth will come out, and everyone will see what really happened." Evelyn nodded, holding Daniel's hand. 30 years of fear and separation had brought them here. Marla stood beside them, alert and ready. The confrontation. They returned to Rosewood, walking carefully toward the mansion that had once belonged to Evelyn's family. Inside, the same men who had chased Daniel emerged, older now, but still dangerous. "You have the box," one said, his voice tight with anger. "Do you know what you're risking?" Daniel stepped forward. "I know exactly what I'm risking. But what you risked for 30 years, hiding the truth, tearing lives apart, it ends tonight." With that, Daniel opened the red box in front of them. Photographs, letters, and ledgers spilled out onto the polished floor, proof of lies, betrayals, and schemes that had started decades ago. The room went silent. The secrets revealed. Evelyn took a deep breath. "They tried to separate us. They tried to erase me. But the truth cannot be hidden anymore." The documents revealed shocking facts. Evelyn's disappearance was orchestrated to protect her from a dangerous family feud. Daniel's family had unknowingly contributed to the betrayal, believing Evelyn's family had wronged them first. Hidden alliances, secret letters, and false accusations had fueled the decades-long feud. The men in front of them had no choice but to accept the truth. Faces pale and hearts heavy, they realized the war that had lasted 30 years had been built on misunderstandings, fear, and vengeance. Justice and closure. Outside, rain began to fall lightly, washing away the weight of the past. Daniel, Evelyn, and Marla watched as the older men left, silent and defeated. There was no shouting, no violence, only the quiet acknowledgement that their secrets were now exposed. "It's finally over," Evelyn whispered. "We can live now." Daniel pulled her close. 30 years of longing, pain, and questions had led to this moment. The storm inside them had finally cleared. Marla smiled. The shadows are gone. The past no longer controls the present. And the future? Daniel asked softly. The future, Evelyn said, is ours to write. A new beginning. The red box was returned to Evelyn not as a burden, but as a reminder of strength, love, and the truth that could never be destroyed. Daniel and Evelyn walked together through the streets of Rosewood, rain dripping softly on their shoulders. They didn't speak much, words were unnecessary. After 30 years, they finally had each other again. Marla followed, carrying the remaining documents to a safe place. The mystery was solved, the war ended, and the love that had been lost was finally found. 30 years, Daniel said quietly, and yet it feels like we've just begun. Evelyn smiled, leaning on his shoulder. Some stories are worth waiting for, she whispered. As the camera of imagination pans out over Rosewood, the lighthouse stands tall in the distance, silent, but now a symbol not of fear, but of hope, love, and the truth that time could not erase. The end. A forgotten ticket stub had reopened a mystery lost for 30 years. Secrets were revealed, love was restored, and a city once haunted by the past could finally breathe freely. Sometimes, the smallest things, a ticket, a letter, a memory, can change everything.